Good morning, Pulsicans and Hexicans. This is the loudest megaphone in Pulse Chain Land, the DeFi Crypto Alliance show. How are we doing today, guys? Good morning to you. Happy Hump Day. Man, I am super excited where we're at in this cycle. And with the charts are telling me it is go time, in my opinion, not financial advice. But man, it looks like Pulse Chain is going to be part of the bull run this altcoin season. Who knows, though? Once again, not financial advice. I'm just a guy on the internet who comes on here and tells you what I do with mine and my bags. You guys make your own financial decision. But what I also love is the builders in this ecosystem. They come in and they build and they bring true value to the chain. And I would tell you, if it weren't for the builders, we would have never made it through this bear market. The builders drug us through the effing mud and brought us to the other side. So now that we can actually have a bull run, and it's because of builders that did this. And so, like, one of my favorite protocols right now is the EMIT protocol, which has got some really cool stable, some really cool yield bearing opportunities. One of my favorite is the V-Pulse and Pulse liquidity pair. We'll kind of dive deep in that today, because today we have Mr. Karos, the owner or the creator of the EMIT protocol, and Mr. DeFi Nations. What is going on, guys? How are we doing this beautiful morning? What's up?
Hey, Corey, appreciate you having us up. Not too much here, just staying busy.
That's great, man. I mean, EMIT is an absolute banger of a protocol, man. I think you've hit I think you hit it on the park on this one. I'm utilizing it, making some yield. I know DeFi Nation is crushing it with it. And talk a little about it. Why did you create it? What was the kind of the vision behind it? And let's kind of dive deep on the protocol and show what we could what this thing is made of.
Yeah, definitely. So EMIT kind of came about around the time that the ink commissions were getting cut. I had noticed that
was brutal.
Yeah, they got sliced right down. So the APRs were down there, and I was like, man, now is probably the perfect time to build a yield protocol, a new yield farm. And it also kind of came about because I had been playing around with code and kind of had this idea of mixing a reflection token with a yield farm. And that's what's kind of unique about this protocol is on the EMIT token itself, there's a reflection tax, and it's 4% goes into the single-sided pool. So you can actually single-sided stake your EMIT and earn EDI stables. And that was one of the things that I did.
Not PDI? Real die?
Not PDI. Nope. The stables. So it's
real
$1.
Money. Oh, it's worth $1. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Keep going.
Yeah, definitely. Well, when I was building it, my thing was I was like, I want to make a farm that's not just constantly down and to the right. And I was like, to do that, people need to have something to do with their tokens that's not just, single-sided staking and earning more of that same token. So with EMIT, you can single-sided stake, and then you're earning the stable tokens, which there's a lot more you can do with your strategy when you're earning that EDI. Then you can recompound, or you can buy into your favorite projects. So it gives a lot more options in that regard. And we also did a DAO. So when you single-sided stake to be earning that EDI, it also gives you voting power. And that's just a way that the community can request farms, ask to, turn emissions up on particular pools, and just kind of gives a way for us to get consensus from the community as far as the farms go. And those two things really, I think, have worked really well so far. As far as the emissions themselves, it's fairly low emissions. It's only 555 EMIT per day right now. So I think right now we have 120,000 EMIT tokens, and by next year, this time next year, it'll add like 150,000 tokens a year or so. So it's relatively low inflation right now. And also with that tax on the token, there's a 1% burn. So it's also burning EMIT as with the reflection token. And we figured it out one day, and it's if we actually got $50,000 in volume each day, we would reach a point where the farm is deflationary, which would be cool. It's a lot of volume, but that's kind of neat with an inflation-based farm.
Man, I tell you, I love the tokenomics of getting paid in real dollars. Staking the EMIT token, single-sided, not worried being worried about permanent loss in that particular pool because it's single-sided, and get paid dollars. So yeah, talk about some of the farms you got going on. Let's dive deep on those. I know one of my favorites is the V Pulse and Pulse farm because of the risk of a permanent loss is very little. Let's talk about some of those.
Yeah, and I just want to share about the single side pool right now is 140% APR. So there's actually about just under 70,000 in TVL in that. So if you wanted to go and get like 10% of all the DAI that's paid out to the single side pool, you'd only need about $7,000 of EMIT, and you'd basically get about 10% of the reflection rewards that are paid from the trading activity, the volume. So if the token does like $100,000 in volume in a day, 4% of that would go, that would be $4,000 would go directly to that single side pool. And if you had 10% share of that pool, that's $400 a day you'd be, making in DAI stablecoin. So that's kind of like an easy way to calculate how much you could earn in there.
That's pretty good. That's a lot of money, actually.
Yeah, it's like $12,000 a month if you for spending for how much is the $7,000, spending $7,000 on EMIT, and but we're not at that volume yet. That we're much lower, but once we see Pulse Chain really take off, I think 100,000 daily volume is achievable.
That's the key.
We're seeing some of these meme coins that launch on pump tires doing that right out the gate too. Like the Brya token, which we'll talk about, and some of them are doing $500,000 a day in volume. So I definitely think that's achievable.
Yep, especially as we're kind of entering in through this next altcoin season. Ethereum's catching a massive bid right now, and I think we're moving into the next part of the cycle. All the core assets are printing massive W's on the weekly. They're getting great market structure where lower highs being put in place. And so it's just getting ready for the next move up. And we all know Massive Green Candles is going to bring in some retail, and they're going to come to protocols like this because this is what gives them use case on the chain, right? Something they can do and make money on their money, which is key. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. But Karos, did you want to maybe share screen a little bit and show some of the pools that we got going on over there?
Yeah, I can pull one up here. Yeah.
And I was talking with DeFi Nation over the weekend. I was over there hanging out with them, and I was like, man, the MIT protocol's probably got one of the most sick tokenomics because of the fact that it's the user base gets paid in a stable coin. There is nothing out there like that in these farms, and that's what fascinates me the most. And I know it's still a reflection token, but it's not reflecting on the token itself, so it's not getting sell pressure on itself, and that's why I really like it. So
my strategy.
Go ahead.
With the single-sided pool is that, like you said earlier, there's no impermanent loss. So like when you're making your strategy, you can have half of your EMIT holdings in that single-sided pool, and then you're going to enjoy that price appreciation. Like say retail comes in, EMIT token price goes up. Everything you got single-sided stake, you're gonna get that price increase, and then everything in farming, usually when you have something paired, you don't get that big pump as much. So that's kind of been my strategy, is to split it up half and half.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm probably about half my EMIT in that single side pool, and then the other half is paired with LPs. And I'm in quite a few of the LPs, like the ones we'll be walking through the farms. So I'm constantly earning more EMIT, but I'm also earning the DAI, and then I just throw my EMIT right in that pool, to earn more DAI.
Is that coming? Is my screen coming through all right?
Yep, we can see it, sir.
Awesome. I'll just kind of go over this notice at the top here. So it says on this account, I don't have an emitters NFT. So there actually is an NFT as well, which is kind of a good way into the ecosystem. And
explain that a little bit. how do you get the NFT? What does it exactly do? Break that down real quick for the audience.
So with the NFT here, they're called the emitters, and essentially this was a liquidity raising event when we were first launching. Each of these NFTs are 1 million PLS, and it's kind of cool just to have a profile picture that people can rally around. And it's saying all NFTs minted, but they're not all minted yet. There's still a couple hundred left. I don't know why it does this. When I'm sharing my screen, all the stuff will stop loading. So I don't know. Hopefully this will load again.
There you go.
Yeah, it did this on me last time too. Let me try and refresh maybe.
Yeah, I was to say refresh the screen. Let's see if it either way. So you mint one NFT for 1 million pulse. And then what is that? And
so when you have the NFT, it makes it so that you have fee-free farming. So on some of these farms over here, like the ones that don't have an emit pair, for example, on the core farms, like a INC/PLSX, there's actually a fee on that for depositing and withdrawing.
Okay.
But if you hold an emitters NFT, then you'll have 0% fees on all the pools. So that'll essentially pay for itself if you're doing any serious farming, or you deposit any decent sized amounts. So that's a good way into the ecosystem. Also, to use any of the DAO features, like creating a proposal or voting with your EMIT, you have to hold an NFT. So it kind of acts like a key in that way. Also, when you hold the NFT, we have this thing in the Telegram group, which is airdrop bot. And with each of our new partnerships, we usually collaborate and we end up airdropping some of the partner tokens to all the community members. So when you get an NFT, that gets you automatically on the airdrop list. And you also get point multipliers. So if you get 5 NFTs
whitelisted. It's awesome.
Yeah, it ups your multipliers too. So if you have like 10 of the NFTs, you have like a 10x multiplier on your airdrop amount.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, you get a position for every NFT that you hold.
Yeah, for some reason my RPC doesn't load when I'm sharing my screen, so I don't know if my numbers are gonna pop back up here. I don't know would you want to share the website real quick, Corey, so that we can have the actual data up here? Or it did this to me last time too.
I cannot because I'm on Starlink, and for some reason Starlink does not like crypto websites. Let me try. I'll try it though real quick.
If not, we can just kind of go through it. At least the website itself is popping up. But
let's just go through it. I'd have to switch over to my Liberty internet to do it, and then that would drop the stream if I did that.
Okay, yeah. I'll just go through them, and I know kind of roughly what the APRs are. So for the single-sided, that's going to be your first pool right here. The APR is actually, I think it's 140% right now. And since launch, it hasn't dropped below 100%. So that stays pretty consistent.
That's solid. That means if you had, say, $5,000 for easy math, of emit in there, you would earn, probably around $6,000 or $7,000 emit back in DAI over the course of a year. That's freaking sick, bro.
Yeah, and like on days where we've had like a big influx in volume, and like the single-sided will just absolutely print on those days. So that's great. As the volume grows, those rewards actually grow as well. All of these other farms, so everything except for the single-sided, are based on the inflation of the token, which is 555 tokens per day. The emit/PLS, that's the most heavily rewarded. I always tell people that are asking for a strategy is to buy emit as much as you want for your position, take half of it and put it in single-sided, take the other half, pair it with PLS, and put it into this farm, because this is essentially the primary farm which receives the most rewards. So I think that's a good strategy to get started. And then you can go into the other farms and projects that you like after that. So these first farms here, we have basically all the cores. You can pair it with EDI, Inc., PLSX, and I just added this PWBTC farm yesterday. All of those APRs are about 100%. The first category that we have is PulseX. So these are essentially all the same farms that we had on the PulseX farms. These APRs, I think that the dye is around 20%, and these have come down a bit. These are like 10 and 15% for these farms, because we've got a bit more TVL now. I think our TVL is up around 550K. So some of the more popular farms that aren't emit paired, the APRs are coming down a bit. But if the price goes up, then APRs can come up too.
Yep.
Each of our partners has a category. So like this first category here is Vouch. And this is one of our most popular farms, the VPLS. This one's APR right now is around 7%, but it basically lets you farm with your VPLS/PLS without any impermanent loss. I think we have almost 100,000 in that one. So that one's been really popular.
What's the APR in that one right now?
This one, it's around 7 to 9% on this one because it's gotten quite a bit of TVL in it now.
Yeah.
But
Gareth,
so
can you
that's
go
one
to
of the-
can you go
What's
to
that?
vouch.run and show what the APR you're earning? Because on this one, you would actually go to vouch.run. You would stake your PLS for the validator rewards. I think it's around 8%, maybe 8-9% you're getting over there. And you're getting the VPLS as your like receipt token, like a liquid staking token. Then you would take half of that VPLS, swap it back to PLS, and then take that and pair it to put in this farm. So you're getting like the extra 8-9%. So in all, you're probably getting close to 20%, probably like 18%
Yep.
APR, because you're going to have that. You're going to have the 8% from vouch.run validator rewards on top of this farming reward. So
and any of our
Yield on top of
pairs
yield.
with emit, like this VPLS/emit pair, for example, like that one's like 170%. Most of the emit pairs are up in the triple digits, so that's nice. But like you said, if you can farm with VPLS/PLS and be earning almost 20%, like that's pretty much
With
not
no
not
impermanent loss.
risk. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if
I don't
those,
know if you guys
if those
understand how
tokens were
awesome
gonna-
that is. No impermanent loss. Let me repeat that again. No impermanent loss. You guys know how I feel about yield farming and providing liquidity because of impermanent loss. This pool allows you to get around 20% APY, no impermanent loss.
oh,
That is
actually, it's
powerful,
higher
guys.
because the APR on vouch.run. Yeah, Karis, can you pull up that page?
Probably around 12 or 14. Is that right?
It's 14. Yeah, it's
yeah.
14 right
Yeah.
now. So
my
Yeah, and
RPC
it
isn't
goes
loaded.
straight
So
with the chain. I have a bunch of natural validators that I got running, and it fluctuates. So like when we're getting busier, like right now, we're kind of going into more of a busy time period because of altcoin season, and Richard's finally kind of waking up the blockchain, in my opinion. We earn more. We earn that higher 14%, where we're in a bear market like a month or 2 months ago, I was earning like 8%. And so it'll fluctuate anywhere from like 8 on the low end when there's not shit going on and everyone's fudding, right? And then on the high end, and I think that 14 could even get higher if we're in like peak euphoria. Who knows how high it really will go. Maybe it's 16%. I don't know. Also, depending on how many validators are in the system, as more validators pile in, that's obviously the piece of pie gets distributed out more. Everyone gets lesser piece of pies, right? And so that's why Ethereum, if you're validating, you make like 3 to 5%. It's because everyone in their mob is doing it, and so it's hard to get a lot of rewards over there. But Pulse, we're not there yet. And so,
yeah. So basically, if you use a combination of staking your PLS and vouch.run, taking half of your liquid staking, your VPLS, swapping back to PLS, and then pairing them together in PulseX, putting them in this farm, that's about 21% APR combined. And,
beautiful.
That's no impairment loss either on it, because
No
those
impermanent
tokens are
loss,
pretty much
man.
yeah,
That's
they're
the
pretty much
gangster
trading
pool right
1 to 1.
Like
Yeah.
between that and just single slide staking your EMIT, that's my two favorite things on this protocol. And that's what I'm doing right now on the protocol. Beyond that, I'm not a big yield farming guy. Like it's just, we've had a lot of conversations, DeFi Nation, about that. But like when I know there's zero or little, I mean, there's always some risk, but like little to no risk, man, count me in. I want in on that. And I don't care if it's less APR. Yeah, it's 20% where I can go make 200 in some of these other pools. I'd rather make the sure bet and know my tokens are not going to have a permanent loss at the end of the movie. I want all the gains in the APR. It's like having your cake and eat it too, right? Like that's what I like to have.
Yeah, this was actually a much higher APR. I think a few months ago we were going to come on your show and kind of do a demo.
It's like 70 at one point. I remember
it was up around 60% APR when we were going to come on.
You guys came into my community and those guys went in there and butchered it.
Yeah, because that would have been great to show it at that high APR, but they just after 100K in TVL filling it up, it brought it to like kind of normal levels, I guess.
Yeah, which is to be expected.
Yeah, the same thing happened on we have the INCD/USDC pool. So you can farm with stables without impermanent loss, and it's the same thing there. I think that one's around 9 to 10%. But that's still decent, for just using stables and farming. That's still nice. And also the print/S print is another pool that we have without any impermanent loss. So if you're holding print, you can create some S print, pair those together. And I think that one's a bit higher. I think that one's like 15 to 20%. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What did you say? The Inc dollar, INCD, USDC, about 12%. So that's one of the places on Pulse Chain that you can just take stable. It's like a single side stable coin basically, because those are no impairment loss between them. 12%. I mean, in the bear market, this is going to be something that once you cash out your crypto and into stables and you want to like still earn yield on it, this is a really good place to be.
It's a great place for that. We also, we're big components of like, dollar cost averaging in, right? Like, so in our community, we're always telling our guys as they're making more money in the real world, hey, dollar cost average in, don't go and buy, one lump sum of money of everything you want. You want a dollar cost average in. A great place to hang out at while you're doing that is in these stable coin farms. You can like pull out whatever amount you want every month and dollar cost average in, and you're making money on your stables while you're chilling and waiting for your next DCA. And so that's what makes it, that's very powerful.
That's what I did with,
I think
this is, you remember we were talking about in the Kava bar. I think it was maybe it was early 2024. I bridged over a sizable amount, 6 figures. And I kept it in. First, I started with the liquid loans stability pool, the USDL, and then I moved it to earn once those rewards went down. I made about 50 grand in yield.
That's
and so
50 grand of extra pulse that you have in your portfolio now because you were using these strategies.
It's about 25% of the principal that I was like working with, and that was all DCA'd. So the entire principal DCA'd, and then also the yield. So I basically got like an extra 25% bonus on my my DCA money, but I spread that out over maybe like 3 or 4 months of just like DCAing like daily or weekly or.
Yep.
And each one of these is just basically a different partner. So this is, the Crypto Paradise guys. So we have the Surf EMIT, and then we have a couple pools paired with the Surf token. So it's a really good way that, say you're collecting your EMIT rewards, and you're like, man, I want to grow my position in Pulse Bitcoin, or I want to grow my position in Surf. This is a great way to do it. You can take those rewards, create more LP, and deposit in there and start earning more. The community token section, this one is just quite a few different Pulse chain communities. You got Gelato, Vet, Steady, and DAT/EMIT. This one's cool actually too, because we have DAT/EMIT on the homie farms as well. So you can take half and put it in here, and then take the other half your LP and put it in that farm, and then you're kind of earning both sides. So to grow your position, you can just collect your rewards, pair them up, and split between the two farms. So that's pretty cool.
That's good stuff.
Each one of these Yeah, I like the way that we did the partnerships with the airdrops. It's really cool because each time we have a new partnership, it's kind of growing both of those communities. So it's been
When
a
you do
great
a
way to.
partnership, break that down real quick before we move on. I don't want to blow past that too fast. When you do a new partnership with, say, for like right here at Function Island, like how does that? So you guys airdrop each other's communities, or how does that work?
Yeah, definitely. It was one of the things that I really wanted to take my time on each partnership and had a series of steps that we went through. So with each new partnership, there's the initial announcement,
Sure.
which is an announcement of the communities coming together, and then each of the partners will share that. And then usually it's like 2 farms that we'll put up. I'll put up an EMIT pair, and then I'll let them choose another pair. We share both of those announcements. And then as far as the airdrop, usually they'll give around $500 worth of their token or so, and that's what gets airdropped to the community. So all in all, it ends up being like 3 announcements and then kind of ongoing airdrops for a couple months.
And actually, the airdrop isn't like really mandatory. Like the tokens, like we've had some that haven't, given like the tokens for being airdropped. But just having them kind of like share it in their community with in their Telegram and retweet the tweets announcements, at least get their users like active in there. So
it's awesome.
Impulse, we just started. I just actually added a couple vaults from EMIT onto Impulse, so we actually have a couple vaults on there now for auto compounding. So that's cool. I think we have the Impulse/PLSX is going to be another farm that's coming up here soon, and that'll have a vault.
I was going to mention too, we actually got a big new partnership that we'll announce on your show. It hasn't even been shared really yet in the community, so we'll announce that before we get off here today, and that's going to go live next week.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. Yeah. The Hocus Pocus, Nick's got us added on the dashboard over there. So that's kind of a cool way that you can go and browse your farms as well on the Hocus Pocus dashboard. And that's nice because there's actually a few more options as far as organizing the farms. You can organize by APR. So if you haven't used that dashboard, that's pretty cool and worth a look.
It is.
Then we got, these are just EMIT pairs. We got the solid index/EMIT or solid X/EMIT. And all these are around like 150%. I think all 3 of these actually are around. Most of the EMIT pairs are triple digits at least. And these are all 150 to 200. The OINC protocol here and the Nexion guys, those both EMIT pairs. And this was our most recent partnership that we did with the Rhino Fi, which is a pretty cool textile token. And yeah, that's most of the partnerships that we have. As far as farms, I wish the RPC would load. That would give you guys a bit more data, but you can kind of get the gist. Our token price right now, I think we've been above $1 for a while. It's around $1.20. TVL is around 550K. Total supply, there's 120K EMIT. The market cap is around 140K. And then, like I was saying earlier, so it's kind of, that's like a good signal in my opinion. Like you got almost 600K in TVL, but the market cap's only 140K.
That spells opportunity to me.
Yeah, so I think at some point that might come up, and definitely we can have some price appreciation there. And as far as the DAO, like I said earlier, the DAO is just a way that the community can request new farms, or project founders can come in and request a collaboration. We've had both. We've had founders that, like the Rhino Fi guys, came in and they requested the collaboration, and that's how that got started. But then we've also had community members, like with the PTGC farm, that was actually just a community member requested farm that we put up. So you got both ends of that. And
we have right now running a loudest community contest on Twitter. So I think that runs for a little bit, like almost a week. So the community that gets their members like going and commenting and retweeting the most, asking for a new farm is going to get like a new farm pair with a high allocation put up in their category. So it's kind of one way that they can kind of earn some more
How do
yield
you
on their
judge the
tokens.
winner on that?
Yeah, there's actually there's a giveaway for that. So it's the Loudest Community Contest, and every member that enters gets to vote for a project that's on EMIT. So they basically vote for a project, tag 3 friends, and they're entered to win. The prizes are 250 EMIT, 100 EMIT, and 50 EMIT. So some pretty good prizes. And then the project that wins will get to choose a new farm for their category with good emissions there. I know the Pulse Bitcoin's been real loud on that one. So I think so far they're in the lead. But that runs until next Tuesday. So we still got some time on it.
Yeah, I've had Fast Sammy kind of blasting that out in the community. I told him I got like a $7,000 in like liquidity and PLSB ASIC to put in there if we can win that. So I'm kind of been pushing for that one just for my own bags.
For your own bags. I actually have, as you know, some bags of that still. Just hanging out in the background. I could put that to work at that farm. Actually, was to get put up in here because for me, I'm no longer mining the Pulse Bitcoin. It's just not worth it anymore as far as the APYs are concerned. But I would definitely put it in a liquidity pool like this and earn EMIT, because EMIT, in my opinion, is a goat ass token with the tokenomics behind it. So
yeah, like so the mining on mining with ASIC on the Pulse chain side, you're earning both the Pulse Bitcoin and the Pulse Litecoin. I think it's around 50%, 50 or 60% APR.
I can't hear anyone.
I can hear you, Carol. You can't hear us?
No, I can hear you now, but I think Ben might have dropped. I think also worth to mention too, the Liberty Swap guys there, they added the EMIT token to the bridge. So that's kind of cool. People from Base, Ethereum, Arbitrum, they can bridge. Yeah, they can bridge their USDC right into EMIT. I've used the bridge a couple of times now. It's wicked fast, wicked good, and I guess they're working on adding Solana too. So especially
that's like
we've
next
seen,
week or something, they'll have it.
Yeah, like we've seen with all the the memes flooding in and stuff. I think that will help a lot of money enter the ecosystem for sure.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. DeFi Nation, you there again?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me, Karos?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit now.
All right, go ahead with your thought process there.
Which one?
You were talking, and then
no, I was saying, I think what you were mentioning about mining with ASIC.
Yes, that was it.
So I think right now, I think it's around 50 or 60% APR because you're earning both the PLSB and the Pulse Litecoin together. Yeah, so we have a pair. We have a pool that's Pulse Bitcoin, Pulse Litecoin. So you can take your mining rewards if you're mining with ASIC and put them in that. And I don't know what the APR. I think that's maybe like 40% APR on top of that. But yeah, I mean, if we can get the pool from winning this contest, that's probably gonna keep the APRs up around 100%, even if we get a good amount of TVL and add to liquidity and everything. So
yeah, I love it, man. I love it. And so talk about some of the new partners you got coming up. I know you said you have something on the horizon. What's going on there?
Yeah, so we just lined up a partnership with the Bria token team. Yeah, so that's a meme coin. That's Rackham Rochelle's dog, and actually the founder of the token, he's launched some other popular meme coins, and I think he runs the teddy bear Telegram, like the original teddy bear. I think he kind of took that project over with the Telegram and everything, like a community takeover after the whole
Atropa and B Roots disannouncement.
Yeah, they kind of abandoned, but then that's kind of outperformed the new teddy bear, I think, from what I've seen.
Know.
So yeah, he runs that Telegram, and he launches Bria, which they've done some pretty good like memes on it, and then Rackham Rochelle got behind it because it's his the name of his dog, and then he got really supportive on it. So that token's doing like $500,000 a day in volume, and we're gonna have a farm pair for EMIT and Bria coming out probably early next week. Have the announcement probably going out on Monday from their team. We just did the same partnership with Vox, the Vox Farms. That's actually dropping today. And I think that later tonight they're going to have that announcement going. So we've kind of been trying to like partner with, different projects like that. We have a, protocol between, we have a collab between each protocol. So we have like a collab group, and we've been like bringing new people in there. And like we got the Mr. Nzunka guy who's been doing those Pulse Chain daily videos, and we're going to do some sponsored videos on his daily update videos, and just a lot of people kind of like working together on these things. So
that's it. Carol,
Yeah,
what about you, man? Go ahead. Yeah, we'll also talk about what else you got coming up.
I was just mentioning with along the same lines as the Breer partnership. I've been trying to focus on our pump tires category a little bit. I actually added Peacock / EMIT to see if we could get in on some of that attention that's been going around, and it actually was pretty popular. I think we had around 6K in there at one point, and it's still got around 4K in there. So yeah, we put a little bit of focus on the memes, spread into that a little bit. As far as other partnerships, I know I was just talking about possibly doing a time pool, the Internet Money Wallet.
I would love that. I have a bag of time.
So that could be a possibility. And I was just actually, before I hopped on here, I was checking out this Pulse Send. Have you guys checked that out? It's almost like a payment processor for Pulse Chain, which it looked pretty interesting, actually.
Interesting. No, I have not seen that or checked it out yet. I'll have to do that though. See what it's about. But Internet Money, man, that chart has been absolutely wonderful to me. I mean, it's probably one of the only sacks that I did that I actually made money on. Every other sack I lost money, and I had to re-DCA, my positions back in if I was going to keep that, that position alive. Internet Money was not that case. It continued to go up to the right. And so I still have that bag. I still got it. And so if you came out with a farm with Internet Money, I would actually look at that farm and put that money to work. Now, the problem with the Internet Money, if I'm not mistaken, and you can maybe correct me on this, Carlos, if I put my Internet Money in a farm, does that disqualify me for their Pulse rewards inside their wallet? I think it does.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I'll have to look into it a little bit more, but
I wish he would fix that. I wish he would somehow. I don't know if that is fixable. I don't know if you can do anything about that, but I would like to be able to, you want to incentivize your community to liquidity provide. You need liquidity. So don't disincentivize them by saying, hey, don't provide liquidity. Other way you don't get your rewards. Ideally, you'd want to get the rewards for doing the better thing, right? And the better thing here is providing liquidity with your token. So I don't know. Maybe I should hit up what's his name over there? What's his name?
KG.
KG, yeah. I've had KG in the show a couple times. I don't know if there is something he can do about that, but I would love to see us get our rewards and provide liquidity. Because then, once again, DeFi Nation, to your point earlier, like with VPulse and Pulse, we'd be making money on top of our money. I like that. I like that idea of going in there and farming with it, and then making Pulse rewards in the background and making the EMIT token.
Yeah, another farm category we'll probably build out that I know you're interested in is the solid index category. So
I love solid X. I got a bag of it, bro.
Yeah, so we did a collab with Randy Hilarski, and that's why we have the DAT token in the community tokens as well. Because that's his token on the Homie Farms on Hocus Pocus, and I think Fast Abdul's involved in that one too. But yeah, so we did one with him for the solid X EMIT pair, and then I think the idea was to add each of the solid index tokens to that. Probably we'll do EMIT pairs with the others to access Fire and Randy's Nope token. I think Nope will be next. We're just waiting for him to kind of confirm about it. So then we'll probably have
some bag of that too. So
yeah.
So.
then we'll probably have some pairs between them, so where you can have like solid X and Nope, or like Axis and or with different, maybe even we'll throw to like BBC and solid X, and
And that's a good pair there, DeFi Nation. If you were to take like solid X and Nope, because those are very closely tied together. So you're in permanent loss, even though you could have impermanent loss theoretically if solid X goes an absolute tear. But the permanent loss is mitigated some because they do follow each other very closely. Kind of how Pulse and Pulse X, even though they kind of have their own charts, but they in some sense they do follow each other. So your permanent loss is less. And so if you were to put a solid X and Nope farm, dude, I would probably go in that farm because I have both those tokens and they both follow each other quite well. And I think from these price points only up to the right, once again, not financial advice, guys, don't quote me. I could be totally wrong on this and it could go to zero, but in my view, I think both those tokens are going to only go up to the right from these levels. And so, yeah, good place to provide liquidity.
Yeah, I think the Nope EMIT one will probably be next because we try to do the EMIT pair first before doing like the non-core pairs. But then that will be like one after that. So
yeah, well, solid X, when it comes to Nope, it's almost like a core to Nope because there's so much liquidity provided from Nope to solid X. So it's almost like it's one of its core tokens, kind of like Pulse is to everything else.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Carlos, what about you? Got anything else you're working on that you got coming up that you want to announce on the show before we start winding things down today?
I think we pretty much covered it. As far as the EMIT project, but as far as my focus, it's just been on the partnerships and growing the liquidity that's tied with EMIT. Right now, our liquidity, there's 122K in total EMIT liquidity, like paired with other tokens. And my reason for that is, when things do start performing, I want EMIT to get dragged up with everything when the cores go up and everything.
Yep.
So that's been going really well. We got a good chunk of liquidity that we're tied with, and that's kind of been the focus. Anyone listening that's not on the airdrop list yet is welcome to jump in the Telegram and, say that I just heard you on Corey's show. Can I get added to the airdrop list? And we'll get you added.
Free money.
Everyone's welcome in there, and we're going to keep doing our thing as far as building partnerships, giving people a place to earn yield. And so that's kind of been my grind.
I love it, man. I love it. And where can we find you? Obviously, the Telegram. If you want to drop the EMIT Telegram in the public chat here, feel more and free. And then also, where can they find you on Twitter?
Yep, definitely. I'll grab that link real quick. On Twitter, it's EMIT Farm, just EMIT Farm. And I think the Telegram is the same. Yep, t.me/EMIT Farm. And the domain is emit.farm. And that's got everything that you'd need as well. If you go to the website, it's got all the links on there also.
There you go, guys. There is the Telegram. Go in there and ask to be put on the airdrop list. Get your free money. You guys love free money. You're in crypto. That's the reason why you're here, right? And so you can get some free money. And then here is the domain where you want to go and participate. Obviously, double check your links that you're clicking on and don't fall for any scams. You can go inside the EMIT Telegram, confirm everything that you see is true. But obviously, if you're copying and pasting from the show, you'll be in good hands because it's coming directly from the founder himself. So, well, cool, guys. I appreciate it, man, so much for coming on. Once again, we do appreciate the builders and what you guys do. I mean, if it weren't for you guys, man, I don't think Pulse Chain would be here today. That is my honest take. I think we would have died in the bear market if it weren't for the builders. And so the builders kept us alive. And now we can, we're seeing some life in the chain because Richard's starting to come back to life and things are starting to pick back up because Ethereum's picking back up too. And now all these other things will carry us to the bull market, which is awesome. But we'd have never been carried to the bull market if it weren't for the builders. And that is an honest fact, especially when the SEC hit us. It was you guys who were keeping the shit alive. Make no mistake about it. I think you'd be dead in the water, man. That would have been.
Corey, I had I've spoken to some other people that want to come on your show too with me. Like it's one of the partners of Crypto Paradise team, Nick, and
that was on their show a few weeks back. Yeah, it
nice.
was good.
Yeah, Karis can come back on that one, and then the Superman. Do you know the
yeah. I watch his
show.
show. The guy does like freaking like 3 or 4 shows a day or some shit.
Yeah, he does a lot. Yeah, and then also
he does a lot.
Also the Vox finance team that they have the Vox farms that I've been kind of also help kind of get a some awareness of, so we can come back on maybe next week on those. So
yeah, hit me up. And Karos, you're always more than welcome to come on, man. Love what you're doing. Just keep it up. Also, guys, another thing that he's built, I know we've talked about before, is the Impulse protocol, or IMPLS. It's where you can go over there and you can compound your yield farms automatically. It's automatic. I had my PulseX in ink position over there before the ink rewards got cut, and I had it there for about, man, I had it there for like a year and 3 months, man, and made a shit ton of money. And I didn't ever have to think about like what I was going to do with the rewards, or just auto compounded right back into the vault, and it kept growing on itself. Finally, obviously, I took it out when Richard cut the emissions. But that's a great protocol, guys. Go check that out. And he's going to be combining a lot of the stuff from the EMIT farms over to the Impulse protocol, and it's a great way to grow money on top of your money while you're receiving free money, you effing degens.
We actually just integrated EMIT protocol and Vox Finance farms into Impulse. Cool. So I've been slowly adding vaults on there. So that'll be good, because with those emissions, it'll help pick up the Impulse single-sided staking, which as you know, you can single-sided stake and earn a portion of the fees, and you just collect Impulse. So those high APR farms will help that a lot.
That's great. That's great news.
And we've been talking about possibly integrating it where Karis could add it into the EMIT DApp, where when you stake your LP, potentially could hit like one extra button and then have it go right, have that LP go right into the vault, and then bring you over to IMPLS to manage your vault over there, just to earn the
they should be integrated as much as humanly possible, Carlos. Like the front end from IMPLS should be over on EMIT and vice versa, and you should be able to like do all the functions from either one.
I think it'll be a lot easier to. I think it'll be a lot easier to explain the Impulse now to people, now that they're on EMIT. Yeah, and I can be like, look, now this will automate the process of, if you don't have a strategy with your rewards and you just want to compound it back in, like you said, this will do it for you. Cool.
Love it, man. Well, cool, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. Guys, we're going to be streaming all week, so I'll be back here tomorrow. It's 120 of you guys watching. It's not too shabby. Give me a retweet over on Twitter if you're watching there, and then smash the likes, hit the subscribe over on YouTube. Help the algorithm so we can keep bringing out amazing content like this. But thank you again, Karos. I appreciate you coming on, and DeFi Nation. We'll see you guys soon.
Awesome. Peace. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, Corey.
Yep.